What's good, people? Welcome back to Art Brands and Bullshit. This week we sat down with Amir Odom. Amir is a dope YouTuber and content creator from here in Nashville, Tennessee. He motivates open conversations surrounding tough topics and has developed an incredible following over the past few years doing so. We had a great conversation about goal setting, his transition from corporate America to becoming a creator, and his process for finding your niche. Let's get into it. Dude, how's life been? What's been up?
So it's been wild, dude. It's been hello. I'm like feeling myself vibrate in the chair for some reason. Like, what was that? Um, Life's been great. It's just been hectic. Like with the YouTube and then planning out this podcast, decorating this room, maintaining home, friends. It's just all a lot. But it's good. I've never been this happy in my life, but I've also never been this stressed. So that's a weird dichotomy to face. Because for so long, especially like working in corporate America, I've always associated high stress with unhappy, but
Mhm.
now it's like a weird switch of super happy, but also super stressed. And yeah, I'm just learning like no matter what, like you're still gonna be going through things. Even if you're happy, you're still having to like prioritize and like put things in order. So learning lots about that.
Big facts. Or just to put it simply, I feel that so deeply. And I think, I'm honestly poking at what you're talking about from an artist
Hmm.
perspective on a pretty consistent basis. But I think it's worth even just talking about just people in general in 2025. Like we've never been so connected and there's so much noise that we have to deal with in order to like properly prioritize and take action, whether it's relationships, whether it's tasks, whatever it may be. But like, there's like the highest opportunity right now, but then also the highest amount of responsibility that comes with that.
Exactly.
You know what
It's
I
like
mean?
now it's like the perfect time to really hone in on a craft, especially like being creative, um, and fine tuning like who you are and the services you provide and what you're just offering up to people who are supporting you and packaging that in a way that's really, acceptable to people. But it's incredibly motivating and it's a time to do it, but it also requires a lot of work that I feel like a lot of people just don't realize or misjudge, miscalculate how much effort it does
Totally.
take. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, and it feels like, okay, so taking that concept where there's all this noise, there's all this opportunity. Have you have you kind of run into this issue where you take action in a bunch of different directions and you end up kind of like wasting time in certain
Yes.
area, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Because it's not like obviously where your attention goes, energy flows. So like if all your attention's in one spot, all that energy's in one spot, and then that can thrive. But when you're in a position where you do have to divert energy to a couple of different areas, it's likely that one of them's going to slip up. Um, and when you're not in a space where I don't know how to word it, but it's just knowing that you're in a position where you do have to put attention in different areas of your life, it requires you to really trim the fat and really stop wasting time in other areas. And for me too, that's kind of hard to do. Like, yeah, I do kind of just want to like watch TV for an hour. I do just want to play games.
Hmm.
I kind of do just want to bowl or do this or that. But if you have to divert your attention to other places, then you have to really be disciplined. That's one of the hardest things about it is like all the discipline's on you. Like in
Hmm.
these positions, especially being creative, there is no one telling you what to do. You don't have to do this stand up with your boss. You don't have to meet this quota. Of course, you do in the sense of if you have people to pay, if you have an editor to pay, or you're paying a producer, this, that, and the third. But if it's all on you, it does take an incredible amount of discipline to get these things done.
Yeah. Yeah, and to the point of like, playing a game or watching TV for an hour, it seems like the context in which if you're doing that with a partner or if you're doing that intentionally, then
Hmm.
it can be productive, but then if it's unintentional,
Yeah,
then you run the risk of wasting time. And it seems like part of the context of like whether it's you using your time wisely or not is like your goals.
right.
Like you gotta know where you're trying to head in order to, take action in that direction. Do you do you have a process for kind of like setting goals, and even just especially moving from like corporate America to go into creative? Was there like kind of like some North Stars that you were heading towards?
I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah, because before I jumped into it, I really tried to grab a hold and understand like what's my creative market cap. So when you're starting a
Mm,
business, you're looking out, okay, if I want to, I don't know, start a coffee shop. Okay, how many coffee shops are in the town? How many people like coffee? What kind of coffee do people not offer? Like what's your market cap? Like what's your target audience? What can you offer them? What's not out there already? So I did that in my creative field. Okay, how many people are saying the things that I'm saying? Who's saying the things I'm
mm,
saying? How many followers do these people have? So what's a realistic cap for me? Like not everybody can be a Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is so basic that it's so GP in general public that of course it's gonna have a massive following. But for what I'm talking
mhm,
about and what I'm doing specifically, what does it seem to be my market cap? It's like, okay, it seems to be a ceiling of 4 to 5 million subscribers. So, okay, and then I try to like make realistic goals off of that. Like, okay,
wow.
if I'm seeing people starting out and they're around, 100, 200K mark, then I'm going to set that my goal because I know that is more realistic for me and what I'm doing in this sphere. And not only just that, what do I like about all these people that are doing what I'm doing that's working, but also
Mm,
what's something that I would do that I would love to watch and that consistency makes me happy. That way I don't get burnt out. That way when I am working, I am creating, I enjoy what I'm doing. Um, so those are really my goals. Like looking into this, okay, what's realistic goals to have off the bat? And then
mm,
two, what's something that I know for myself I won't really get burnt out of and that can create longevity. Um,
yeah.
and that's really been my goal consistently since starting YouTube specifically is maintaining realistic goals, but then also understanding that like longevity is for me because like it can be wiped just like that. So
Mm,
constantly diversifying the things that I'm talking about and finding an underlying basic truth um,
mm,
in what I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about LGBTQ issues or if I'm talking about race issues, at the bare bones, the person that is watching this video is looking for a different perspective and has an open mind. So
mm,
I'm looking at this open mind and this new perspective, and I'm like, okay, I can easily apply that to something they're not even going to expect, but I have a feeling that they'll watch. So I'll bring that to generational issues. Hey, this is why people are cutting off their mom. Oh, and that
mm,
pops off because it still requires an open mind and new perspective to something that a lot of people are going through that they're not really talking about. Um,
yeah.
and so those have been my goals really just to constantly tweak and maintain longevity.
It's fascinating. I love the way your mind works with this stuff, and it's no surprise that you've had as much success as
Well,
you've had
thank you.
so far.
I
Uh,
appreciate that.
it's interesting to think about like creative market cap or like the total addressable market of like
Yeah.
kind of like psychographics or like just different topics. And I think it's really interesting to think about that from like an art perspective
Hmm.
because with whether you're painting, whether you're creating an event, whether you're creating music, whatever it is, you're still taking a stance. You're still making
Right.
statements.
Hmm.
And you know, I would question how many people are thinking about it on that level when coming to their
I
music,
don't
right?
think a
You know what I'm
lot,
saying? I don't
honestly.
think so either.
I don't think a lot because that's when you see a lot of people get disheartened by their metrics or their views or whatever they're doing, and which a lot of times they end up blocking their blessings. And then two, again, just having like unrealistic goals. So I think of the first person that comes to mind about this in thinking about music is Horse Girl.
Oh
Um,
my gosh. Yeah, totally.
because Horse Girl, I mean, she's a horse. So, but she
Right.
seems so happy and she's thriving because she's doing what she wants to do. She's in her sphere of music, and it seems like she's always surprised about what's next and what she's getting booked at a bigger stage. And I think it's because she
Mm,
was realistic. And hey, I'm a like techno slash hyper pop horse playing
hmm
music. If I'm filling out this club room, that's fantastic for me. And I love that. And I know like I'm making a living. I can sustain myself. And this is it. Not and be
hmm
saying this is it isn't saying that I don't have bigger goals for myself, but not everybody can be a Beyonce, not everybody can be a Mr. Beast, and everybody can be a John Summit. So
Right.
it's just being real in your market cap in your area. And if it blows up even more, great. Great. I'm gonna say humble about it, but you have to be real in what you're doing, what you're talking about, so that you don't set your own stuff up for failure.
Yeah. It's it's so important. I can't count how many times, I do a decent amount of like artist consulting and like building brands with artists and that sort of thing. And one of two things happen. It's like it's either one or the other. They either like don't have any goals or they're like
Hmm.
way unrealistic with the expectations. And neither one's functional.
Hmm.
Like taking and I think to your point, like you got to look inward, you got to look at what's important to you, and then you got to look at the market and look at what's realistic, who's your competition, who's the total addressable market in general. That's going to, whether you want to go at it from a follower base, a listener base, whatever. um
Hmm.
I guess, for people that will be listening to this, can you talk about how like the process of finding that addressable market?
Yeah. I would go like I would focus in on what is it that you're doing, whether it's the type of music or the type of things you talk about, um, whatever it is, like your sphere. I would write down, here's all the things that, here's all the ways that I'm providing value, or here's the niches that I'm in, here's the music that I'm creating. It's like, okay, cool. Then you look at who else is successful in that pillar. What are they doing? And not only that, but also who do I like? Who do I catch myself really listening to and vibing to? Um, And then I would go from there and then dive deep into, okay, what kind of people are following them? Read their comment sections. What are they looking for? Who else is listening to them? And then off of that, who inspires those people? So now I can also, if we're making the same music and this person inspires this person, there's a high likely chance that that person also can inspire me. So keep
Right.
going up the totem pole that way. And then, look into metrics. Oh, what are their club performances like? Are they openers? Are they like in the mid range? Um, how many monthly listens do these people have? How many followers do they have? And just
Mhm.
note down all metrics that you can. Like study these people, study the pillars that you're in, and then from there, just start creating and come up with realistic goals for yourself. Because then it can also motivate and inspire you. Like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can reach 1 million subscribers on YouTube because I know the people that watch me also watch these people, and these people have way more followers than me. So it's like that clearly can happen. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would do that, um, and constantly learn. And this that sounds so basic, but it's literally it
No,
will
it's real.
surprise you how many people don't learn anymore. They get out of college, they get out of high school, and they just stop. And this is why it extends past creative field. It's just life in general because there's so many people. I've been really processing how past 25, 30, and ages up, there's no more like, oh, this person's older than me, so they're wiser than me. No, we're all just adults. And it's a
Hmm.
matter of the people that are constantly growing, putting themselves in new situations or taking new boot camps or learning new skills, and the people who are just a copy and paste clone of their day-to-day software where they do the same thing, they go to sleep and they reboot and they keep going. And you don't want to fall in that trap, but so many people do. So literally it is listening to as many podcasts as you can, taking as many courses, going to these conferences, um, and learning about things that don't even have to do with you. Like if I don't know, if I like the way Beyonce moves in silence and the way her process of working, I can still tweak that to me. So let me listen to
Hmm.
podcasts that talk about the way Beyonce does work. I'm not a singer.
Hmm.
I'm not on stage just dancing, but I can still apply that framework, and you can do that across any sphere.
Hmm.
So even paying attention to the people that you do like, it has nothing to do with it. You still can learn something from. There's lessons in all things. So in terms of really finding your market cap and finding the things that the realistic goals that you can set for yourself, is just truly setting up the pillars of your business, what you want to do, what you're already doing, what you're already providing, who else is doing it, what motivates them, what's working for them, and then drill all the way back down.
That's a recipe right there.
Yeah, it's
Case closed.
yeah, I yeah, like easier said than done, I guess, but like it just I don't know. It's just when you set up a plan for yourself and realistic goals, it will surprise you how far you can actually go.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Also,
Yep.
real quick, and then let things cook. Like, like if you want to try something out, try it out a few times. Like, because you tried something once and it doesn't stick, doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Like, it may have just didn't hit the certain people or the algorithm didn't push it out the right way, whatever it may be. Give yourself some grace, try it two, three times, and if it don't work, it don't work. But
Yep.
there's so many people that just keep switching and switching and switching, and that alone, someone's looking at you like they don't even know what they're doing. It's okay to pivot, but pivot smart.
Pivot intentionally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, if you're feeling what we're talking about, you should be in our Discord. It's called the Artist Evolve Community. It's a place where like minded individuals, creatives, forward thinking people come together to talk about their creative process, what they're dealing with growing their brands, and everything in between. We've got Q&As, we've got workshops, we've got industry professionals who tap in. And best of all, it's free. So hit the link below and check it out. Yeah, I think like and there's probably a bit of grace that comes with this, but staying true, understanding what motivates you, what drives you, where your passions lie, and allowing that to be the thread where you take action
Hmm.
and and staying on that path. Like just because the algorithm didn't pick it up, or just because it didn't quite perform as high as you wanted to, I've seen people literally take down a post and repost the exact same thing, and it
Yeah.
performs higher.
Yeah.
Let alone like, okay, actively looking at the post like, okay, maybe the hook wasn't right, maybe, or if it's a track like, I really dig this beat, maybe the hook didn't hit, whatever, but like completely switching up your sound because it didn't quite resonate.
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah. And don't. And
Stay on
then
it.
understand that this happens no matter where you're at in life. Like, again, I'm people are listening. I'm a big fan of Beyonce. So it's not like I've studied her so much. I've seen like her like peak and then her worst like performing album ever right after that became beyond like it like stopped the world and sold nearly like a
Mm,
million records. So it's like even if you find yourself at a low, you never know what can hit next. And even for the people like Mr. Beast, every time Mr. Beast posts a video doesn't mean it's gonna pop off. Like no matter what and where you're at in life, you're going to be going through things. So it's okay. Like
mm,
it's
mm.
good to calm down a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, you said this before. There's a lesson in everything. There's like meaning and substance to take with every podcast you're listening to, but low key every moment. Like there's
Hmm.
something there that if you are staying present, that you can find um, meaning and probably a bit of fulfillment in every day. That's probably some existential shit though.
You know, it's I mean, it's real. Like there's meaning in everything in life. And truly like your personality, like your Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time, but
Mm,
your reality is your personality. Like who you are as a person, that is your reality. And if you keep thinking that you're dog water, you keep thinking your music isn't that good, you keep thinking nothing's gonna stick, it ain't. It's
mhm,
not. Like at some point, you a little realistic, but you have to almost be a little delusional too to like really go for your goals and dreams. Like when for me, more life stuff, like when I was in eighth grade living in my godparents' house, we are homeless. I'm not with my
mhm,
mom, I'm not with my dad, I'm going through all these different suicidal thoughts. I had to literally be delusional to remind myself like it's a season. It's called going through it for a reason. Like this is just a moment in my life. And I know in 10, 20 years, I'm not going to be where I'm at today. It's just something I'm going through and it's chill. And that takes a little bit of delusion. Like when you're sitting
mhm,
there, like wanting to just end it all, like you have to kind of be crazy a little bit and have that crazy mindset of like, this is where it's gonna be. But even then, while it was delusional, it low key wasn't because we all have seen in life someone super rich lose it all and someone with
mhm.
nothing gain it all. So that's
Yeah,
what kept me going is I knew that it was realistic in a sense. It's
mm,
delusional for me right now, but it's realistic and that people have done it. So
sure.
like in literally in all things, it's just really setting the bar high for yourself, but with a realistic manner and just keep your head up.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. It's so funny. The statement of like daring to dream is it keeps coming up in my mind as you're talking. Like, okay, maybe looked at as delusional for some people,
Hmm.
but it, what's the difference between delusion and a dream? You know, like
Yeah,
it's maybe if it's so unrealistic from your current situation, maybe
right.
that tips into like unhealthy delusion, whatever. But like, it takes dreaming out ahead of where you're at currently to get you to where you're trying to head.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Man, so I want to zoom out and just kind of talk about where you're at with your channels right now. I
Hmm.
so deeply appreciate your your stance on motivating open conversation.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank
I
you.
I I think in like such a polarized society and like even kind of a polarized world,
Yeah.
it's so easy for people to just fall into one camp versus the other, whether it's uh, racial, political, whatever it
Hmm.
is. And if either side can't talk about things, we're never going to get anywhere.
We're not gonna get anywhere. It's so my entire life, and I honestly a bit of it what drove me to a depression when I was in eighth grade is because for so long in my entire life, I'm constantly being told how to think. Amir,
Mhm,
remember, you're black. You have to believe in Black Lives Matter. You have to hate Republicans. Most white people are racist. Oh, Amir, you're gay. Most people hate you. Most people are homophobic. Most people don't want to be around you. And you're constantly being fed these things, and it kind of creates like your own delusional own reality of like, if anyone knew me prior to like 2016, they would tell you, and it would sign their life away, that I was the most flinchiest and like
mhm,
scary person ever because the amount of anxiety that I had built up in me because what I was constantly being told and what I was saying all around on the internet without realizing that one, I'm not thinking for myself, but two, I'm being locked in different echo chambers. Um,
mhm,
and I think it's so important to just open your mind. Even if you disagree with something, it's okay to just at least hear it because at the end of the day, going into these types of conversations, you're either going to learn something new or you're going to teach somebody something new. That's it.
mhm.
Because if you stand
Yep,
firm in your beliefs and you feel what you think is right, then it should be no problem to talk to somebody who thinks you're absolutely crazy or that you're on the wrong side of history, whatever it may be, because you know the truth for you. And
sure.
it's I want to, and I'm glad we are. I do see it in my comments and the metrics and people being more willing to have just these tough, really tough conversations. Um,
Mhm,
and I'm just in a unique position where, I'm able to have these conversations for a living, and I'm built for it. I don't care about hate comments. I've never have. I don't care what anybody thinks. In ninth grade, I was standing against this pillar and minding my business, and this guy goes, "Hey Amir, like you're an F slur," and threw a milk carton at me. Which one is kind of ironic because I'm lactose intolerant. I was like, really? But,
Damn.
but two, um, I just like looked at him, wiped myself off, picked up the milk carton, threw it away, and then kept on with my business. And everybody
Mm,
was like, "You're not gonna fight him, like you're not mad, yada yada." And I'm like, no, he has bigger things to battle. If you're literally throwing milk cartons
mm.
at me at 7:30 in the morning, I'm not even worried about you. Like you are struggling
You
when you
got
lay your
shit
head
to
down
deal
at
with.
night. You are struggling. When
Totally.
I lay my head down at midnight and I turn my head to the side, I'm smiling. I'm happy.
Hmm.
I'm chill. And I know he's not.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
And that's always been my
Totally.
mindset. I don't tolerate hate or BS. Like
Mm.
you have you have more things to worry about.
Well, it's an incredible thing because there's a difference. You can not tolerate something but still not be reactive.
Right.
And I think there's so many like you said, you're poking at a bunch of like really tough conversations. And I think it comes from a bunch of tough situations where people have dealt with bullshit and like
Yeah.
have been hurt. There maybe there's trauma surrounding it, whatever. And so there's this all this emotional energy behind these tough
Hmm.
conversations. And so when people come to the table to talk about it, it's like, all right, where are we? You know, it's all this aggression,
They're
whatever.
extremely on guard.
Yeah. And it's
Mm.
like, hold up. Like, let's find a calm place to try and collaborate surrounding
Yes.
this. And let's go back and forth because there's undoubtedly like um gaps or like blind spots. You know, I've only lived
For
my
sure.
life, you've only lived yours, you know, and us sharing different perspectives can open up other opportunities.
And that's what a conversation is. Like a
Right.
conversation, a true conversation is two people talking, pushing boundaries, and you're risking the chance to offend the person you're talking to. When you're having an
Mm-hmm.
honest conversation, you're opening yourself up to be criticized, you're opening yourself up to be offended, but that doesn't mean it's a personal attack. It doesn't mean it's intentional. It's literally just
Mm-hmm.
someone you're talking to. You don't know their entire life story. Yes, they said something that may be offensive to you, but off the bat, if it's coming from a calm, rational discussion, it's going to be rare that it was malicious. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just hear something out. Um,
Yep.
and don't
Yeah.
default to changing your viewpoint of them because you think that it's impossible for somebody to think that way. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
some people call me a self-hating gay or self-hating black, and I'm like, like what? I'm able to have my own conversations. Um, yeah, it's just you never know where someone's coming from, so just take a second, calm down, and just chat it out. It's not that deep.
Mm, right. Yo, if you're feeling this, hit the subscribe button. It helps us share the content, but more importantly, it helps us serve people like you. So thank you. And I think to your point, it takes a certain level of vulnerability that a lot of people probably can't arrive to,
Yeah,
and a certain level of trust that with that vulnerability, people you're not going to be like attacked or whatever, or trying to
yeah,
gotcha it or whatever the term is. You know what I mean?
yeah, because it does. It takes a lot to shut down your preconceived notions or just put them on pause and want to say something. Like
Hmm.
if we, I know we're not right now, it's 2025, but if we're back in like the 70s or 60s or 50s, I would sit down with a Klansman and just talk. And like, why do you hate me? Like, I'm
Hmm.
allowed to have a conversation with you, even though I probably don't respect you. I can at least sit down and
Right.
hear from you because that's really how things were changed. I believe his
Right.
name was, I forget his last name, Daryl Johnson, Daryl Jones, Daryl something. Um, he would sit down and have like dinner. He would take Klansmen to dinner and they would leave that dinner and the Klansmen would like take off their robes. Like, this is actually kind of stupid. Like, you're actually really cool.
Hmm.
And how else are we going to get to those places if people aren't having conversations? And just because you have a conversation
Right.
doesn't mean you're condoning whatever the other person thinks or believes. It's just you're talking.
Right. Right. Yeah. And 99% of people, like, of course there's a lot of fear that if whatever the side is, like if you're stepping into a conversation from someone on the other side, there's like this fear of like being attacked or whatever. 99.9% of people aren't going to hurt you.
Yeah.
They're not going to beat you up. They're not going to, any low key, even then, so what? It
Yeah.
does swing on you. It's like, then what?
Right. It's like
Uh,
what's happening. All the hate I've ever received in my life has been online.
mhm.
Ain't no one gonna say nothing or do nothing.
Yeah. All right. That's an interesting kind of point to poke at. Like, there's obviously a bunch of hate. There's a bunch of people that are hurting. There's a bunch of people that just like are not good at collaborating in
Yeah.
conversations, whatever. Uh, so inevitably there comes a lot of like negativity or hate. Um, did you ever battle with that? Like just kind of starting out, and have you kind of learned different ways to handle that?
Like as far as handling the hate and the different conversations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Honestly, yes and no. So for me, the hate I never really had to deal with because I don't pay it any mind. These people don't know me. I don't
Mm-hmm,
deep dive into the comment section and read these psychoanalysis of me. I do watch videos of people critiquing me, and I'm, oh, that's kind of interesting. But I don't take it
mm-hmm,
really to heart. The only opinions that I take to heart and really care about are the people that are really close to me and that care about me that actually know me.
mm,
That's what I care about. So at first, I'm losing these friends. I'm like, you don't want to talk to me because I have this viewpoint, but like we've been friends since elementary school. I know your kids. I've changed your kids' diapers. Like you didn't want to talk to me
right.
because this view. Now that hurts. That does.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the hate online and like, no, just because like that ninth grade example, someone called me the F slur. It's like you're dealing with way too much. At that, prior to that, like I said before, I was going through all the depression and I've attempted
Mm-hmm,
suicide more than enough times to allow
mm-hmm,
someone else to affect my mental health. Like, like literally,
yeah.
I'm not going to lend agency over my mind and my emotions and my feelings to someone else and put that in their hands. I'm too strong for that. It's why, like,
Oh yeah.
even like I just genuinely don't care. I don't care what you call me. I don't care what you say. If you're not in my immediate circle, then I genuinely do not care. If it's constructive, sure, I'll listen to
Mm-hmm,
it. But hey, I don't care. I genuinely do not care because you are not in my circle. You don't really know me, and I'm stronger than that. Like no matter what you do to the
mm-hmm,
day you die, people are gonna hate you. People hate Mr. Beast for giving people laser eye surgery because laser eye surgery can have some effects. Like people hate
mm-hmm.
everything. People are going to hate
Yep.
everything. So no matter what, as long as you know in your heart is good intention with direction, you're fine. Like that's just what it is. And it's what I always say to like my little cousins and stuff. And like it gets into some like touchy subjects with like, the N-word or like people being racist and the third. It's like, yes, these things may irritate you, but you are stronger than letting something as a 4 or 5, 6 letter word ruin your whole day. Like that, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my view on the hate and stuff.
Yeah. There's a certain level of like allowance. You like allow if you are letting, whether it's a word or a comment or whatever, if someone says that and you're that's getting to you, at a certain level you have a choice
Yeah,
to say like, okay, that this person's uh, holding space in my mind for whatever reason,
right.
and like, and you don't need to allow that. It just point blank. It doesn't.
I just
It
I just thought
doesn't. It
about
doesn't
this
matter.
this I don't know, I forgot the exact quote, but Tyler the Creator, he was going off about cyberbullying. And I don't condone bullying at all. But Tyler's like, what the
Yeah.
F is cyberbullying? If you don't close that damn laptop screen and go outside. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like to a
Yeah.
certain point, you're allowing it
Yeah.
to at a certain degree. it does go back to personal responsibility when it comes to some of these hate comments
Hmm.
and hate videos and hate think pieces. And again, Beyonce, she's never addressed anything ever in all
Hmm.
30 years of her career. Nothing has been addressed. She don't
Hmm.
like she good. And you
Hmm.
can get to a point where you're addressing every little thing, you're responding back to every single comment, you would just fall into the pits of just nothing. At some
Hmm.
point, you got to just mind your
Hmm.
business.
It's gold. It's gold. So I see a lot of artists in consulting calls, and I've got this like artist Discord that I started up a couple months ago, just having like kind of weekly conversations, and I see a lot of people hesitate when going through that kind of like going through the moments of cringe, going through the
Hmm.
moments
Yeah.
of being cringy, and who was it? Oh gosh, oh, I'm blanking on who it wasn't Charlie Puth. It was anyway, someone recently was just talking about that you got to go through 10 years of being cringe in order to
Hmm.
like make it in the music industry. And John
Valid.
Bellion, that's
Okay.
that's who it was. Um, and I think the only way to do that is to learn how to prioritize what feedback matters and what doesn't. And even
Right.
just to your like how you're talking about it, even when you do determine that that feedback is worth something, how you process it is also important
Right. Yeah,
because that's
that's
the only
powerful. It's like
it's the only way.
you have to really look at it from a unique lens. That's not super personal. And again, like if you're creative, you own a business. And there are some things that are targeted at your business, not you. Yes, you're the one making the music. Yes, I'm the one talking to the camera, but that is my job. And if someone's critiquing my job, I have to put on my job lens and look at that. I'm like, okay, it's not always a personal attack. It's not always someone hates
Yeah.
you. It can be legit, um, just critical advice.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's one of the biggest like lessons you've learned from the communities that you've built? Or what's something that resonates with a lot of people that really gives them that push to keep going?
All right, so twofold. Number one,
Hmm.
one of the biggest things I've learned is you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Uh, I think um, although there may be a bunch of people in the community, uh, the whole 80%, the whole 80-20 thing is like aim to please
Hmm.
80% is definitely a real thing, and then trying to please everybody, you're going to end up probably pleasing close to nobody.
Yeah.
Uh,
We all see it.
mhm,
It's
yeah,
clear as day when you are trying to please everybody. You go so hard trying to please everybody where no one even knows who you are. Because it's like,
mhm.
because you at the end, like a conversation, at the end of the day, you're going to offend somebody, or not even just offend, but you're not going to agree 100% with everybody. So when you're that agreeable and you're just floating through life, it's like, something's up, something's fishy. And goals are
Yeah,
misaligned.
totally. There's this quote from Steve Jobs. There was somebody that was in um, like a role meeting with Steve Jobs and came in, and Steve was like super pissed at him uh, because he was just yes manning everything, and he was like, "You don't get it. You're you're not just you're not hurting them. You're hurting yourself." And it's honestly just like a selfish act because you're actually just caring about you're telling everybody yes because you want them to like you. You're not
Yeah,
caring about the greater good. And so if you want to be your best self, if you truly want to support people, you're not going to just always say yes. You're going to give
yeah.
people more honest feedback. And I think it kind of even speaks to just taking a stance in general. Like I think
Hmm.
um, whether it's music, whether it's creating content, you can kind of regurgitate existing sounds, existing statements. But until you truly take a stance yourself, you're never going to truly step in to your higher self. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And but it takes confidence, it takes courage, it takes intention in order to take that stance.
Yeah. It does. And it takes just bringing it back to, being an individual that's creative, whether it be music, content, podcasting, whatever it may be, understanding that a lot of different things can work at once. And when you're
Mm-hmm.
taking in this inspiration and you're making things twist, it's genuinely okay to do what you want to do. There's a
Mm-hmm.
horse girl playing techno, successful. You can do what you want to do. It sounds
Yeah,
hard. Um, you
totally.
have a John Summit and a Dom Dalla that, they are best buds. They do a lot of work together. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're just looking at their social media profiles, if you're looking at the way they move throughout the online space, they're completely different. But both still as successful. And you can really craft your own paths while still taking an inspiration and, aligning, going back to like the different content pillars and your market cap and really honing in on the things that make you happy. Because the
Yeah.
easiest way for any creator to get burnt out is by doing something you don't want to do. If you're enjoying what you're doing, yes, it's a job, but I like it. Yes, it's stressful, but I like it. As
Mm-hmm.
long as you like it and you love it, as long as you love what you're doing, it can still push you through the BS. It can still push you through the stress. It can push you through the late nights. Do I
Yep.
want to be up at 4 a.m. editing a video? No. Am I cool with it because I love it? Sure. Um, and when you fall into the trap, of, like, I don't really like this at all, it gets dangerous. So do yourself a
Totally.
favor and make sure you're happy with what you're creating.
Facts. Because that negativity, those hard times are going to come, and you got
Oh,
to stay driven through it.
hmm and the only thing that's going to drive you is that passion. That's
Hmm.
it.
Yep.
That's it. You think Kobe wanted and LeBron wanted to go to practice 2 hours early or stay 2 hours late? No, not really. They'd rather go home, but they do enjoy what they're doing. They do know what the hard work gets them, so they do it. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. It's going to be hard, but if you like it, you can bear with it.
Yep. You know, I came across there's I think it was a TikTok or some piece of content where someone brought up that the meaning the origin of the word passion comes from the Latin word passio, which
Hmm.
is to suffer. And I was like, hang on.
Wow.
I like, there's this connotation of passion being like this, you think like being positive, passionate love,
Right.
things that you're passionate about. It's like this kind of like positive, warm, driven energy. But uncovering that connection to suffering was so eye-opening to me. And it almost kind of is a paradigm shift towards like, okay, what are the things that you're willing to suffer for
Yeah.
and still find like enjoyment and purpose within?
Which if we're breaking it, yeah, I mean that is powerful. I even know that, and I'm just like thinking about the different areas of my life that I'm passionate about. I'm willing to suffer for it. I'm willing to go through the rough for it. Like if you're passionately in love, you passionately love the person you're with, you're going to acknowledge and understand. It's a partner for 66, 60, 70 years. It's not always
Mm-hmm.
gonna be good. There's gonna
It's
be
not,
some rough
yeah,
spots. There's gonna be something that's gonna
totally.
like can knock something off, but if you're passionate about them, you're going to suffer with them. You're going to go
Mm-hmm.
through it with them because you understand what that means, like what love means. You understand what your job means. Whatever you're passionate about, you have to understand and know that it's not always going to be 100%. It's going to be really, really hard sometimes. Damn, that's
Totally.
neat. I didn't know that.
I know. I was pretty stoked on that one too.
Yeah, that's sick. This is very valid.
Hell yeah. Well, Amir, it's always great hanging. I so appreciate this conversation. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the time, and yeah, it's no surprise that this conversation was as fluid as it was. So,
Yeah.
dude, can't wait to hang in person whenever that
Yes.
next time is. I'll be back in Nashville, so if you're around, let's grab a coffee
Perfect. Yeah.
and hang soon.
Let's do it. Please.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for the time. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time.